Focuses on power and attraction, deeply rooted in Buddhist teachings. He is an international best-selling author. Hello, friends. Immaturity is a part of human behavior. You think you plan your life, but your emotions often take over. You don't realize how your emotions influence you. Your emotions blind you to reality, showing you what you want to see. Searching facts only to confirm your beliefs is a bad decision. It doesn't show reality, only what your mood allows. This denial of reality leads to poor decisions and harmful patterns. Logic involves resisting emotional impulses, not just reacting. Logic opens the mind to reality, vital for good decision-making. Understanding. This is difficult, but it is a power we need to develop. By doing this, we realize our full potential. As Robert Greene says, modern society is thought to be based on logic and reason. But the truth is, we make most decisions based on emotions. These emotional reactions have no connection to logic. As humans, we often make irrational choices. The struggle to be logical dates back to early Christian times. Robert Greene mentioned Pericles, Athens' leader, who was perhaps the first to promote rational behavior. At that time, rumors spread that Sparta was planning to attack Athens. Pericles advised Athens leaders to be patient rather than strike first. If leaders had acted hastily, a major war could have broken out. Shortly after, Pericles died from the plague. Without his logical thinking, Athens made decisions based on emotions. Athens went to war with Sparta, which nearly destroyed the city. We can learn a great deal from Pericles. Pericles demonstrated patience, logic, accept people as they are. Social media, new, viral, emotional. This medium entices us with effects, not made for peaceful thinking. Their constant presence leaves little room for thought. Robert Greene. As humans, we're obsessed with changing others. We cause others pain, judge people, want them different. But if we accept we can't change others, we'll be happier. Robert gives an example of parents who bully kids. Threats and punishments don't change naughty kids. They teach them to avoid getting caught. If we accept we're all different, we'll be less disappointed. People should try to understand others better. Empathy helps us know how others live. We can create a better world by eating a personality that makes us overcome our insecurities. We believe that we are what we want to be, and that's what we want to be. Faith makes us we are invisible. People pay attention to urgent problems, not on long-term impacts, for example, on terrorism, then on climate change. This trend is of a progressive nature, with large impacts in history. Instead of people paying attention to immediate threats, Robert Greene says that we must shed invisibility and become visionary, looking back at us of all options and vague expectations. The consequences must be understood. Present problems are often the result of the invisibility of the past. If you understand this, you can give priority to the important issues. 5. After success, the ego pulls us back. We become self-centered. Robert says that humans are narcissistic by nature, from mild to deep in people. Narcissism happens to the level narcissistic people think of others as their own. Parents tell how to pay attention to children. First, it is the child's personal identity hinders and creates low self-esteem. Interestingly, deep narcissism isn't as self-loving as normal. Robert says that for healthy narcissism, self-love is crucial. Hello, friends. You're listening to this book on Bookpedia's YouTube channel. If you enjoyed this book, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bookpedias. Stay tuned. Robert Greene says success is often at the forefront of people's minds. This effect is called the law of gravity. Michael Eisner's career is a prime example of this rule. Eisner became Disney's CEO in the 80s. In September 2005, when stocks fell, the board removed Eisner. People often forget how they achieved success. Success requires support from others and mentors, as well as luck. Remembering these things keeps us grounded. Chapter 6. We shouldn't limit our abilities. Robert Greene says we should develop both sides. People like David Bowie embrace their masculine side more while using feminine power. Men will understand women better. Robert says we need both male and female strengths. Men summarize, women find patterns. Mixing these approaches is best for problem solving. Chapter 7. Free yourself from groupthink if it's holding you back. People often identify themselves with others. We worry about others' thoughts and which groups we'll fit into. Group mindset helps when focused on a shared goal. Working in groups has its benefits, but there are risks when we're with others. Our behavior changes, we lose our principles in the group, we imitate others, losing what makes us unique, including our ability to think independently. Robert says being in a group can lead to more unethical decisions. The main reason is we often don't decide for ourselves, but follow others, making choices based on the group. We should avoid being pulled down by weak character, as it's harder for such people to break free from group influence. Robert Greene suggests key ways to avoid groupthink. 1. Maintain independence and critical thinking. 2. Develop self-awareness without being swayed by others' opinions. 3. Stay in the group but remain focused. Chapter 8. Use your weaknesses positively and ensure aggression is constructive for this purpose. He cites John D. Rockefeller from the 19th century as an example. Rockefeller partnered with Morris Clark, but Morris saw him as trouble. Rockefeller always pushed Morris to grow the business, which Morris found very annoying. Morris was so frustrated that he sold his shares, which Rockefeller bought. He transformed the small business into a major corporation, becoming one of the world's most powerful. Rockefeller turned this small venture into a company that still exists today, demonstrating that being effectively aggressive is key. Our aggression made us Earth's most influential species. We shouldn't suppress this aggression, as repression breeds more aggression. Instead, we should accept our aggression and channel it properly. For example, we can use this energy to become stronger and more courageous. Chapter 9. 18 Principles of Human Nature, the book's foundation. We've discussed the main principles, and now we'll briefly outline all 18. One of mankind's greatest weaknesses is that emotions fuel aggression. We tend to seek evidence that confirms our existing beliefs, which is distance leads to poor decisions. Robert cited Pericles as an example. Athens thrived with logic. We must understand we're driven by emotions. Pause to calm down before big decisions. Energy and logic balance is ideal. Second, ego. We're self-focused and crave attention. Let's consider Stalin. Initially charming, but cruel to opponents. He was insecure. Insecurity is the root of ego. Control your ego. Be kind to others. Don't make hasty decisions. Learn as much as you can about others. Robert gives Shackleton as an example of healthy ego. When stranded in Antarctica in 1915, Shackleton knew his behavior would determine life or death. He focused on both individual and group needs. This approach saved everyone. Third, role-playing. People often reveal true feelings. We must learn to recognize them. We also learn to present our best selves. To understand the role of others, become like Milton Erickson. Milton was a pioneer of self-improvement therapy. After suffering from depression, Milton understood the physical signs of people better. The best indicators of true emotions are hand movements, voice, and face. Pay attention to subtle emotions. Practice showing the right emotions in different situations. Fourth, character. People have a special reputation or status, but this reputation is their true status. Robert Weaver does not reflect the character, giving the example of Howard Hughes. Howard very successful and looked happy, but in reality they were struggling with deep anxieties. Later they became addicted to painkillers, greed. We should adopt our position and make clear targets, people. We often think that other people's lives are better, just our own. Connecting with reality will only give peace. Robert gives the example of Coco Chanel. Hello, friends. If you are listening to this book via the Book Pedias YouTube channel, if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Book Pedias. She became a designer because she knew what people wanted, so she worked on her work. Mysteries built around products, chicks, low vision. We are animals. What we see and what we feel most affected by is the results of our work. Or forget to think about the big picture, but lack of foresight hurts. The body can be like when the voice investors are hit by the bubble. They lost millions of rupees. This is an example of the South Sea Company given by Robert. The company wasn't long. Yet people invested and finally burst the bubble. How to overcome low vision. 1. Don't be afraid of future information. 2. Focus on important information so that long you can take beneficial decisions of the time. If you are troubled by future information, then work. We protect everything we do. It can be entrusted to someone else. Attitudes limit our creativity, so we are always open to new ideas. Constructive criticism should be seen as an opportunity. Let's take the example of Robert Lyndon Johnson. Johnson was the 36th President of the United States. He did not get power by dominating the people. He gained power by giving opportunity to others. Self-destruction is the habit of making your fears come true. If you are afraid of the future, you will see negativity everywhere. It will inadvertently influence decisions and bring destruction. Let's take the example of Robert Anton Chekhov. Anton, a Russian actor with a tough childhood, turned negativity into positivity. How did he avoid self-destruction? A hostile attitude risks everything. Develop a researcher's perspective, embrace challenges, and know you can solve problems. We all suppress insecurities, anger, and selfishness. Control your dark side. Recognize projecting flaws onto others, and express these thoughts creatively through art. Consider Richard Nixon, the 30th U.S. President, who hid his anger and true self behind a positive image. The Watergate scandal revealed much. Regarding jealousy, it's natural to compare ourselves to others, though socially unacceptable. Recognize your envy before it becomes dangerous. Jealousy is a natural emotion. It cannot be completely eliminated, but we can change it into something positive. Turn jealousy into acceptance. Use jealousy to improve ourselves. Let's take the example of Mary Shelley. Mary was the author of the novel named Frankenstein, but her jealous friend betrayed her. Excessive power can make you lose your sense of reality. Recognizing power, arrogance, criticism, and disregard for authority, we can turn our power into practical power. Use practical power in problem solving and improving relationships. Take the example of Michael Eisner talking about power. The former CEO of Disney credits all the success to himself, which ultimately failed. Gender rigidity is a blend of the powers of masculine and feminine qualities. Therefore, we should use both masculine and feminine qualities. The example given by Robert for gender rigidity has already been mentioned. Katerina Sforza was a strong woman who was praised for both qualities. 13th verse goal. The opinions and feelings of others can pull us in many directions. This can reduce the direction of our lives. Some people like change, some fear uncontrollability, but we all have a purpose to create and follow it. Martin Luther King Jr. He was a man who took steps to overcome failures. He used nonviolence and tolerance for civil rights. We all want to be healthy, but we can behave in a way that we don't agree with. To overcome it, we must develop self-awareness. Robert says that the book Born Red reflects the emotional behavior of people, so people lack the subtle thinking and analysis to excel. The skillful playfulness. We all want to follow powerful people, but when people are weak, we turn away from them. For effective leadership, we must learn to recognize and have power. There are some ways to deal with aggression. First, you can follow their behavior, or if that person is always aggressive, then it is better to stay away from him. If the aggressive person is your boss, then maybe you have to quit the job. Robert Jondi is an example of Rockefeller. Rockefeller was one of the richest people in American history. He used aggressive strategies to gain power, but he used his aggression constructively. The blindness of the century. Now you are reaping the fruits of the hard work of millions of those people. You have learned a lot from thousands of experience. It's easy to take it lightly, like it happened all by itself, and you deserve these facilities. It's the thinking of a spoiled child, and you should consider this idea shameful. This world needs constant improvement and innovation. You are not here to fulfill your desires, but to contribute and serve a higher purpose. Robert Greene wants to be different from his previous generation. Every new generation wants to change the world. Be aware of the qualities shared with other generations. Try to think from the perspective of other generations. King Louis XVI of France is an example of this. He was different from his generation. That is why he was a victim of the French Revolution. 18. Death denial is afraid to think of death, but we must think of death. An understanding of death gives deeper meaning to life's goals. Mary Flannery O'Connor is an example. Mary, 27 years old. She was an American philosopher, a great thinker, renowned for her insights. Her work profoundly influences decision-making. The book highlights thinking and social media's negative impact. Understanding goals can improve relationships by reducing frustration. Robert Greene says the book aims to balance logic and emotion. He outlines 18 rules of human nature, including irrationality, ego, fakeness, greed, and narrow-mindedness. Each rule shows how it affects behavior.
Hey folks, you're tuning in to this book on Bookpedia's YouTube channel. If you're enjoying it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for Bookpedias.